This video lesson is the third video about similar triangles. So before we start, this will be primarily about some word problems involving similar triangles. And here's a reminder of the most important fact about similar triangles. And this important fact that we'll be using a lot in these problems is that the corresponding sides are in an equal ratio. So to better understand what this means, maybe you should look at the videos 1 or 2 about similar triangles, but it will also be explained in these examples. So let's take a look. Problem 1. Julie is 5.5 feet tall and casts a 7.7 foot shadow. A nearby statue casts a 35-foot statue. How tall is it? So here are the numbers I'm underlining. So, of course, we're going to need some sort of a diagram. So here's going to be Julie, and she's 5 feet tall. 5.5 feet tall. And then she casts some sort of a shadow. And that shadow is a little bit longer. It's 7.7 feet. So, for purposes of doing this math problem, we're actually going to want to slightly simplify the drawing. And we're going to replace Julie with just a straight line, and then the shadow starts straight at her feet and goes out in a straight line. So here we have the 5.5 and 7.7. For now, we're just going to ignore the units of feet, and we'll add those on later. So here's the statue. And it's not necessarily drawn to scale, but that's the statue, and the shadow is 35 feet. So what can we say about the height of the statue? Well, these two triangles are actually similar, and if you want a reason for that, the reason is because the sun's rays make the angles the same, but in this case, we can just say that it's similar because it's pretty obviously similar. But if you want a technical reason, it would be by angle, angle, angle. But in any case, we're going to label the height of the shadow x, and because corresponding sides are in the same ratio, x over 5.5 feet equals 35 feet over 7.7 feet. So then we solve for x, and we multiply by 5.5 feet on both sides. And I'm going to write the 35 separately, and then 5.5 over 7.7, and this is all in feet. And 5.5 over 7.7 is the same as 5 over 7. And then we multiply that times 35, and that's just going to be 25. And I did this in my head, but you can do it with a calculator, it doesn't matter. So I get 25 feet for the height of the statue. So that's the answer, 25 feet. Alright, so now we're going to move on to a second example. So we have Bob. He's 5 feet tall, and he's standing 10 feet away from a lamp post at night. If his shadow is 5 feet long, how long is the lamp post? So of course we're going to want to make a diagram first. So here's going to be the lamp post with a little source of light at the top. And 10 feet away, so since I don't know the height of the lamp post, I don't really know what 10 feet looks like. So the drawing might be wrong a little bit, but it's close enough for us to be able to figure out the answer. So there's 10 feet, he's 5 feet tall, that's Bob right there, that stick. The line segment replaces Bob. And then his shadow is 5 feet long. And then I'm going to have to adjust this drawing very slightly because the tip of the shadow corresponds to the top of his head, and that connects to the top of the lamp, meaning the light comes from the lamp, touches the top of his head, and then passes down onto the ground, and that's the top of his head in the shadow. So those 3 points are connected by one line. So the reason that there's two triangles here actually. We're looking at a small triangle with Bob as the vertical, and we're looking at the bigger triangle with the lamppost of length x as the vertical. And these two triangles are similar because of angle, 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 because they have 3 equal angles. So these triangles are similar, and we have 5 feet and 5 feet for the height and shadow, and then we have a total of 15 feet for the distance from the bottom of the lamppost and the tip of the shadow. And since these triangles are similar, the ratios of the corresponding sides are equal. So we can write this in a formula as x over the corresponding 5 feet equals 15 feet over the corresponding 5 feet. And that gives us, we just multiply by 5 feet on both sides, and it simplifies really nicely. We get x equals 15 feet. So that's that. Well, thank you for watching this video lesson. I hope it helped.